Hey everyone! Before we open today's file, please make sure to follow us on Instagram at d.s.radio, where you can find all the images that go along with today's case. You can drop us an email at contact.dsradio@gmail.com. You can find all of our socials in the Linktree bio on our Instagram profile, including links to merch. If you're feeling especially generous, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dystopian simulation radio, where you can get access to our exclusive Instagram page and make suggestions for upcoming episode topics that you would like us to cover. Speaking of Patreon, thanks to our Patreons, Riff Cult, Cropley Crab, Cash Broadus, Raspberry Jr., Jason R. Nelson, Creepy Paper, Jamie Sook, Michael Laughlin, Lindsay Keller, Mike Wright, Greer Weaver, Kelsey Carruthers, Linz Gibbon, Drake Holvig, Only Child, Michael M, Wesley Akers, Riaz K, Emily Medeiros, Pip, Heather Wynn, Graves, Devon Sweatshirt, The Ordained Sinister Minister, and Philip Hoffman.
Can you hear me, Clem Fandango? Hi, everybody, and welcome to Dystopian Simulation Radio. I am your first host, Chris.
And I'm your second host, Linz. I love it when you introduce us in this really weird way.
Well, it makes the readers feel like they're parasites.
Oh, sorry, that took a minute. I was like, what? Imagine our listeners were just parasites on us, in us. Like those ones that live inside of fish's mouths and like little Pokemon, like little dittos.
Yeah, I've seen the picture of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
What if that's the listeners? Creepy. Anyway, yes. Hello, Chris.
Get out of my mouth, Riff Cult. Stop it.
Devon Sweatshirt, get out of there.
So speaking of our Patreons, we must say thank you very much to every single last one of you. Thank you very much. So if you're not a member of the Patreon crew, the Bang Bang Gang.
Sorry, the what? What did you say?
You can join over at patreon.com/Dystopian Simulation Radio. And of course, you get access to our exclusive Instagram account, which is at DSR Friends Club. And you can also just follow along for our regular council account, which is at d.s.radio.
And that is also where all the images live that go along with every episode. So if we mention an image, it will be there for you to look at as like a little user manual. But speaking of the Patreon, Chris, we had a very special video on there recently. I know it wasn't of you shaving patterns into your legs, which you wouldn't do when I requested. But
not yet. Anyway.
But something else really interesting that goes along with the Patreon exclusive episode that we did.
Yes, so one of the things you get are Patreon exclusive episodes. We're starting to do them more regularly, and you're going to get, generally you'll get about 2 episodes a month. That's what's kind of happening. So you get 2 episodes on the normal feed, and then 2 special episodes on the Patreon. That's what we're trying to strive towards. And what you got last time was an exploration into the well, if you're a Bob's Bald member, the highest tier that you could possibly get, there we had an episode covering the Glasgow Willy Wonka incident that has taken the internet by storm. Long story short, it was a very poorly organised children's experience that left parents furious. One of the stars of this meme of an event was a person coined the Methyl Hub Oompa Loompa. And guess what? We got one Kirsty Patterson, the real name of this Methyl Hub Oompa Loompa, to record us an intro to this here show. You heard it early if you're a Patreon, but here it is one more time with feeling.
Hello, it is me, the Glasgow Oompa Loompa Kirsty Patterson. Listen to Dystopian Simulation Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the good podcast platforms for tales of the paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, and more. Oh, and don't forget, we have a drain in the loch.
Okay, Lynn, so thoughts on
the
that?
most alarming thing that I only noticed the 15th time I watched it is that there's a new conspiracy theory out there about Loch Ness, and that is that there's a Dane in the loch, a Danish man ominously standing in the loch.
I mean, I would like to say she tried her best, but that would be a lie.
I like the way that she was even confused by the word paranormal. She went, normal.
I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and think that she recorded it like 3 times and kept messing up that line. And she was just like, that's the best take. That
I honestly love it, and I love her. And I think that's one of the favorite things that, other than replacing a broken microphone, that's one of my favorite things we've done with Patreon money.
Yeah, we got that through a wonderful service known as Cameo, and it didn't cost us that much. She's out there, Kirsty Patterson. You can get her to mispronounce the name of your podcast in exchange for money.
Legend.
Linz, here's a quick 3-style thought. We should go on Cameo.
I don't think anyone wants that.
Because if you can charge for that.
We haven't had a viral moment, and I'm not sure we want one, because the kind of viral moment that we would have would probably be like career ending.
Well, if you want us to, let us know, and we'll hop on there, and we'll charge some ridiculously low fee for it. As indeed our Patreon is ridiculously low. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So patreon.com/dystopian simulation radio.
Yes, indeed. We could charge £6.66 to be edgy. That would be fun.
Oh.
Or £3.33. You'd get like a mini devil. Anyways, Chris.
Half a devil. Was like a cloven-hoofed demon.
Just one leg, like from the Devon footprints.
Well, thanks everyone to our patrons. Once again, there are more exclusive episodes coming up this week. We're going to be talking about the question, is Kate okay?
And is she cake?
After the future Queen of England was photoshopped into a rather ropey Mother's Day photograph, and now people are questioning if she ever existed at all. Sign up to Bob's Balls on Patreon to get all of our bonus content.
How much is Bob's Balls? Is it $7?
It's a little bit less than that. It's £5. I think it's that works out about £6.66.
Hell yeah. £6.66. That's actually quite a lot of money.
What a rip. $6.66 or something along those lines.
Although Chris reading
worth
Dolphin Erotica and Bigfoot Erotica is priceless. So
It is a sign up now, and it's worth its weight in gold. Now, just before we jump into today's episode, I have a song to plug, Linz.
So it's not you in the shower or something, is it?
It's not, although that is fantastic. It's great karaoke times, as my neighbours will attest. But no, this is my good friend Neilio, who has a new song out called Cypher. And it is from Synthwave. I'll play some in the background now. It's the Synthwave genre, which is really, really cool if you're into it. He's a metal guitarist by trade, so there's lots of really cool licks in the background. So it's Neilio, which is Neilio. You can find him on Spotify, and you can find him on Instagram at Neilio Music. He's an old friend of mine, and he's well worth giving a listen to. If you are a fan of Synthwave and songs with names like Taxidermy Flute Cat and the Jazz Animals of Codwood, then this is for you.
Oh God, I think that's specifically for me. I'm changing my leap year marriage proposal from Jake Gyllenhaal to Neilio.
There you go. So check out the new single Cypher now. I'll play a snippet from it now, but stick around until the end when you will hear the full track by my good friend Neilio. Linz,
Yes.
let's talk pop punk.
Oh, thank God. Is it Tom DeLonge?
It might be.
Or is it that one guy from Simple Plan?
Got it in one.
Yes.
Well, without getting into a debate on if a band is always, sometimes, or never pop punk, who are some of your favourite pop punk bands that you would class as pop punk?
I don't know why this is the first thing that came to my head was a homegrown.
Okay.
You kiss me and diss me and now you say you miss me. No, but Blink-182, come on. Alkaline Trio, can you class them as pop punk? Probably, like dark pop punk.
I think well, that's it. Without getting into if they are or they aren't. Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Like,
a bunch of pop punk, honestly. It's not coming to me right now, but yeah, a lot. Like,
I mean, yeah. There's a bunch of big ones out there, Sum 41, The Offspring, Jimmy Eat World,
The Offspring, yeah.
Green Day, Rancid, to some degree, Newfound Glory, My Chemical Romance, even Avril Lavigne. The list goes on, and probably includes your favourite band that I haven't mentioned. Don't at me. But as you mentioned, Linz, Blink-182, one of the probably the two heavyweights of pop punk in its purest form are Green Day and Blink-182.
Definitely.
So specifically, we're going to be talking about one of the lead singers and guitarist, Tom DeLonge.
Oh, thank God.
I think it's DeLonge.
I think
DeLonge.
he pronounces it DeLonge, but it is DeLonge. And I think I do remember having this debate with my friend Mark Duffy. Hello, shout out. When Tom actually went to France, they told him how to pronounce his surname, and it was DeLonge. But you can say DeLonge, I guess, because it'll annoy every listener. Because our listeners are like majority American, so maybe just say DeLonge for the whole thing.
Well, dear listener, you might be asking, why are you talking about pop punk on a spooky podcast? Well, let me promise you this: we're going to end up today in a world of conspiracy, aliens, UAPs, and a whole host of other mysteries. So let me just tell you. Trust in the process.
Chris.
Trust in the process.
UAPs?
Yes.
Are you going all modern on me here?
Well, we have to use the correct terminology according to Tom.
Oh, right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, he might listen to this.
Hopefully he does.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi. Come on board. Come on board.
Everyone send this to Tom DeLonge. Tom DeLonge.
I seriously want to interview you. Seriously.
Oh, God, so badly, please.
So, Linz, what can you tell me off the top of your head about the band Blink-182?
Oh, God. I get really worried talking about bands because this podcast because we get a lot of DMs when I say things wrong. I'm guessing they've been around since the 90s. They could have started late 80s. Yeah, they basically defined the genre. I did actually look it up once, what their sound, where their sound came from. And I think I read an interview with Tom once, or I watched it, and he said it was meant to sound like fucked up nursery rhymes, which makes a lot of sense now. But yeah, they're a pop punk trio. They have Travis on the drums. He went a bit Hollywood, didn't he? He's married to a Kardashian now.
Kardashian,
yeah. Very Instagrammable family. Yeah, they're just awesome. I knew Tom was into like Bigfoot and like Loch Ness cryptids, aliens and stuff like that from the old Enema of the State era like videos that came out about like it's really weird thinking of those videos back then, those VHS or pixelated kind of videos, DVDs and stuff. Like it's like now you kind of take it for granted about like how many videos like a band and band members can pump out, but like back then it was few and far between. And he did speak about cryptids, aliens, conspiracies a lot. And obviously it came out. Wasn't there some weird thing of... Okay, I won't get into the Tom De-Looooonge stuff, but yeah, Blink-182 are like, you know, one of the biggest pop punk bands ever. Still going. And Matt Skiba took Tom's place for a while after they had the fallout.
He did.
Yeah, and I think Tom's back. I'm not sure.
He is.
Yeah, I think
He's
Mark
back.
had a health crisis or something, and
yeah,
Tom
you are
came
hitting
back.
all the major notes, and
Mhm.
I'll fill in the background music for you.
Oh wait, another fact I remembered: in England, take off your pants and jacket. Obviously, it means something else. Innuendo.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in England, it was called in record shops, take off your pants and shirt. Swear to God, I saw that and I was like, take off your pants and shirt. What? And then it struck me that take off your pants and jacket was like a masturbation innuendo. Anyway, sorry, do carry on.
That's quite funny because like jacket is not really a British term.
No, but like the
Like,
way that
it
people
took
were
me ages
speaking
to get
became
it.
really Americanized around that time because of like the, you know, like we got loads of like TV shows, bands, everything. It was like another American invasion of like pop culture. And yeah, I think
Pop punk culture.
the pop punk culture, and I think we all knew what it meant. Maybe you didn't. Obviously, that
I
went right
didn't.
over your head.
Well, let's see what else goes over my head. So Blink was formed in California in 1992. So you're right, early 90s. And Blink-182 originally consisted of Mark Hoppus on bass and vocals, Tom De-Looooonge on guitar and vocals, and Scott Rayner on drums.
He was good.
The latter of whom, as you mentioned, was replaced ultimately by the drummer that you're thinking of at home, Travis Barker. So after forming out of high school, the band began to gain a local following in San Diego and recorded their first album. They signed with Cargo Records, and the band, simply known as Blink at the time, drew the ire of an Irish band also called Blink, whom I have never, ever heard of. I
hope they're great, though.
But simply to avoid getting caught into a legal battle, the boys from California renamed themselves Blink-182, choosing a random number with no meaning at all to it.
Oh.
The band soon had Travis Barker join on drums, as Scott Rayner, unfortunately, struggled with addiction issues, and the band with Travis went on to release some of the seminal pop-punk hits alongside Green Day, who were the two heavyweights of the pop-punk genre. Blink hit it big with their single All the Small Things and rode that wave to huge success. Now, Tom, in particular, is known for writing Descendants-inspired pop-punk tunes, playing the clown in music videos, and of course, his nasal California vocals. And everyone has their own impression of it. So, Linz.
Where are you?
I'm so sorry.
That's everyone's go-to, is it not?
Yeah, it has to be. But it's, you know, people laugh at it, but honestly, it's one of the most distinctive voices, and it isn't a bad voice either,
I love
by
it.
any stretch of imagination.
I love it.
It fits perfectly, that music, and it's sort of the sandpaper to Mark Hoppus, who sings in a more traditional style.
National treasure.
Now, ultimately, the band began to buckle under their own success and unfortunately broke up in February 2005. They went their separate ways, with Mark and Travis continuing on their side project Plus 44, and Tom starting off the band Angels and Airwaves.
What about Boxcar Racer?
Boxcar Racer was around before that, and that was one of the things that caused tension.
Ah.
Because from my reading up on the subject, the latter Blink albums were sounding a bit more Boxcar Racer-ish, which was causing tension with the other members of the band, and sort of, well, what are we doing here? There's a lot of reasons why they broke up, but ultimately, I think the band would agree that they're all silly reasons that they wish ultimately they could put behind them, because we've got back together since then. Now, Travis was involved in a very serious plane crash, although to be fair, I'm not sure if there's any other type of plane crash, in 2008, in which there were only 2 survivors, including Travis.
Damn.
And this was the catalyst that brought the band back together again to put aside these squabbles. They returned in 2009 and continued on for 5 years until 2014, when Tom DeLonge left the group for a second time. But what he did with his time here is what we're going to cover today. But just to do a Cody Rhodes and finish the story, Mark and Travis, as you mentioned, enlisted Matt Skiba from the Alkaline Trio to replace Tom. The band continued on releasing 2 albums with Matt on guitar and vocals. But in 2021, Mark Hoppus underwent cancer treatment. And this time, that was the catalyst for Tom meeting up with the others and then rejoining the group as Matt Skiba stepped aside. Mark Hoppus was later declared cancer-free.
Yay! Okay, I didn't know the update on that, so that's good to hear.
Yeah. And it was pretty crazy because from an interview I saw with Tom, he was saying that it was like stage 4. So it was like, it's pretty bad. But he made a complete recovery, which is absolutely amazing. And Blink-182 released their latest album in October of 2023. And I must say, it's pretty good.
Oh.
Check it out.
Okay, never heard it.
It's genuinely a pretty good album. It's got a couple of bangers on there. Dance With Me is a great song. Like, brilliant.
Okay,
give it a listen.
Cool.
But this does bring us to the time that Tom spent away from the band from 2005. Now, Linz, what was he doing during this time?
I do know that he started I think it's called To the Stars Academy. And I know from the Stargate, I do know from Project Stargate that didn't he hire one of those guys to come on his team? Like, he basically grabbed a bunch of, was it like ex-government or ex-military workers to like come on board, and he started looking for aliens. I'm glad you're covering this because I'm not exactly sure. Like, all I know is he started To the Stars Academy. I think it's an entertainment thing, but it was also like research into aliens or something. And I also remember when that Pizzagate thing happened, he, like, Tom DeLonge was in an email chain with like Hillary Clinton. Like, he was somehow, he popped up in this sort of Pizzagate conspiracy. I don't know. Tom DeLonge was doing some like weird shit in between with UFOs, aliens, all of this stuff. Like, I don't know. So I'm glad you're doing this episode because I don't know the details. I should, but I don't.
Well, it's very confusing. It's extremely confusing. So I think what we should do first is let Tom explain it in his own words.
Oh, yes.
That should clear everything up.
The last show I played was in front of 100,000 people. And then they wonder why I'm not doing that now. And I'll say, because this is the one moment in my life where I'm going to be able to look back as an old man and say, oh my God, I was a part of the team that changed the world.
My name is Tom DeLooooonge. A lot of people know me from my band Blink-182. I started that band when I was 16. As an artist, I kind of conquered, in some respect, what I wanted to do with music. You know, I couldn't believe where I got, you know, and I was like, okay, well, this is a great time to try and do something else.
Back in 2014, I started To the Stars, a media company that would develop science fiction-based films, books, TV shows, comics, all of it. Kind of like a science fiction-based Disney, but for millennials. But I really wanted to make this new project more ambitious, more impactful, and to have it make a lasting impression on people's lives. I recognized that there were people in government that wanted to engage the public on topics that unfortunately had a stigma, even though they were based in scientific fact. At the time, there was no mechanism for them to do this. Through a series of meetings, I was soon connected to a large group of U.S. government officials from the CIA, the Department of Defense, and Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. These guys were the ones involved in the secretive U.S. government programs that dealt with these subjects. And they have all taken tremendous risks to themselves and their reputations to do something that can benefit the world. They wanted to be a part of something special, to be a part of a company that could not only change the way we see ourselves, but also change the path humanity is on. We created a company called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. As a team, we synergistically united our strengths into 3 cohesive divisions: aerospace, science, and entertainment. With the entertainment division, we create worlds, science fiction stories for millennials that inspire and transcend. We are a publisher, a merchandiser, and a production studio. We have stories about dreams, consciousness, the paranormal, UFOs, and many other themes that once used to be taboo, but after newly declassified government documents, are now proving to be absolutely real. We even have our own reality series launching this year on the History Channel, a weekly 1-hour series on our company and all that we do. In the aerospace division, we are paving the way to bring our science fiction stories to life, whether using beams of light to launch satellites, building a new generation propulsion by bending the fabric of space-time, commonly called anti-gravity, or even communicating through a new machine using quantum mechanics. For the first time, these opportunities are real and have the potential to completely revolutionize the way we live. In the science division, we are building the world's first and only artificial intelligence database of unexplained events, deploying data collection teams internationally, and analyzing exotic materials originating from unidentified aerial phenomena. And here, for the first time in history, this group of spies, aerospace engineers, and secretive government officials have chosen to team up with an award-winning producer to change the status quo. We want to do something more than just tell a story this time. We want to be in the story and then bring it all to life. Educating the world, creating revolutionary technology, and telling the story of the millennia, and doing it all together. There's nothing bigger. To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science is where science fiction becomes reality. I wanted to make a quick message to let you know that from the heart, I left my band and all that I was known for because this is the moment in time where I can change the world for my kids and everybody else's. I would love for you to consider doing that with us.
So, I mean, that clears it up, right? Obviously.
There's a lot to unpack here. Okay, so it's presented as like, like a college enrollment video. Okay, this is really weird. Like when I saw History Channel, I kind of went, "Oh God, okay." Like it's kind of like a fake program that you would see in a science fiction movie where everything goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like this is okay. When you said it was complicated, it's kind of complicated. So you had aerospace. What was it? Aerospace, entertainment,
and science.
and science. And then he starts talking about all the facts and anti-gravity. Oh my God, like there was so much in there. I still don't know what it is. Like he had me like when he was like, okay, movies, books, comics, stuff like that. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Science fiction. And then he's like, meeting with spies and the CIA. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess the CIA and spies aren't really that serious, judging by our episodes on Stargate and MK Ultra. Like they sat with Uri Geller for about 2 to 4 years doing remote drawing, so probably wasn't that difficult to get them on board to the Stars Academy. But I still don't really understand, like the production thing. I get that, he's got a background in music, he's an art, I guess, and the science and the aeroscience thing kind of lost me. Like he's literally talking about UFOs, like
yeah,
and
I have no idea.
It was really weird. It was really weird to watch.
Like at this point when I was writing the script, what I've written is, in my notes, I have no idea what this actually is, but it's fucking cool and I want to be part of it.
Oh God, Chris. Right, so a production company, science fiction based, I'm on board with that. Entertainment.
For millennials.
For millennials. Yeah, exactly. Specifically for millennials. And that he left the music industry so he could do To the Stars so his kids could have a better future. Like, Like,
It's
I'm not to laugh at it. Like, I think it's really cool and it's probably worked out for him. But I don't really understand what it is. Like, I
let me
understand.
try and explain it to
Okay,
you,
please
but
do. Please do.
this is going to take a while, okay?
Okay,
So just
I'm prepared.
strap on in.
I'm prepared.
But I think the humor of this is that they're quite like disparate things. It's like, we're making movies and we're making science fiction tales for a new generation. Also, we're trying to create antimatter propulsion systems that will
Right?
change the future of history. Like, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like maybe they should have been separate projects because it's so much to take in. It's like, movies, cool. Anti-propulsion, anti-gravity, antimatter. I'm like, what now?
Well, to us, it seems like a violent left turn. But to those that knew Tom, actually, it's the closest thing to making sense that you can of this situation. Travis Barker, when he was being interviewed on the Joe Rogan show, which I'm not going to play a clip of to save your ears, he stated that Tom was always obsessed with aliens and the unknown from day one.
Yeah.
After all, on Blink-182's breakout of album, Enema of the State, as you said, all of those videos, they featured all the different things, and there was one song that was clearly titled Aliens Exist. The signs
Mom,
were there.
There's something
all
in
along.
the back room.
It's a bit difficult to sum this journey up, but I think a quote is quite a nice way of doing it. And The Fader, a music magazine, said this of Tom DeLonge's evolution.
He used to sound crazy. Here was a dude in a beanie, his left arm inked from wrist to somewhere beneath his graphic tee. Best known as the former co-frontman of the rock band Blink-182. In interviews, the words coming out of his mouth made less sense than the 40 nas strung together in the chorus of All the Small Things. This would have been fine. A creative mind susceptible to wild ideas is hardly unique. Except Tom DeLonge didn't just have a passing interest or affinity. He was planning a crusade.
So, just to be clear, this wasn't a crazy out of left field thing for Tom. It wasn't a psychotic break from reality as some, Joe Rogan, might like to accuse him of. This was a lifelong passion that he decided he was going to follow.
Yeah.
Crazy venture or not, this is a man following his dream, and mad love to him for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I know of Tom DeLonge. Like, he always loved that stuff.
Yeah, and like, he's got the money to do it, so
we would do
it. Huh?
You know,
Yeah,
if
that's
we
what
get
we're
enough
trying to do.
listeners.
If we get enough Patreons, we will start off our own To the Stars Academy. But we'll have a different name.
To the sewers.
To the sewers.
Circling the Drain Academy.
Circling the Drain Academy. Running out of ideas fast Academy. How many episodes a year? Travis Barker, in a great little side thing that he had, said that Tom, when on tour, would actually organize Bigfoot hunts to go into on days off. Although Travis never joined Tom because he obviously isn't cool enough to do that.
No, he was on big boob hunts and
Yeah.
Tom was on Bigfoot hunts.
Yeah. I mean, still, this is fucking cool and I want to be a part of it. Even if you don't want Travis, you're lost.
Screw you, Travis.
Yeah. So Tom, therefore, had a lifelong obsession with aliens, UFOs, the paranormal, and the unexplained, and thus must surely be one of our patrons under a fake name. Watching you.
Ordained sinister minister.
It's you. When Tom left Blink for the second time, it was to exclusively explore this passion with open arms with a project that he'd been working on for some time. Now, a name has cropped up quite a bit so far who has nothing to do with Blink, which is Joe Rogan. And whatever you think of the man, he has one of the most popular podcasts on the planet. It's actually just behind ours in the rankings in Bolivia.
Do you know, actually, when I was at CrimeCon with Generation Y, I blog for them, by the way, if people didn't know that, genypod.com, go to the blog section. But when I first met them at CrimeCon UK in London, we were like having a drink and we looked over this banister and someone like about 20 to 30 feet down, someone had dropped a mask of Joe Rogan's face with the eyes cut out.
Oh,
So he is haunting us, Chris. We're just behind him in listeners.
just behind him.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan does attract a lot of celebrities to his podcast, and Tom went on in around 2015 to talk all things angels, airwaves, and aliens. But the interview immediately focused on the topic of unidentified aerial phenomena, which is UAPs, or how they were formerly known, UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And just to say how well this interview went, Linz, I'd like to turn to Wang, one of your favorites, who put together this amazing compilation.
I don't want to get into that, but I'm not going to really get into that here. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff. I can't say who they were, but no, I just can't tell you who it was from.
Okay.
And I was saying some other crazy shit that I can't repeat. That's the shit I can't tell you. You don't know what I know.
Right. Well, what do you know, though, that they don't know?
I can't tell you. I always tell people you don't know what I know. Like, I have meetings with senators coming up. Like,
do you?
Oh, fuck yeah, I do.
What senators?
I can't tell you.
For fuck's sakes. I love that, though. He goes on Joe Rogan and just goes like, no comment.
I would actually go and encourage people to go and listen to that. It's probably not the interview he'd wanted to listen to, because it was, from some point of view, a bit of a disaster.
Was it actually? Did he get like shat on by Joe Rogan because he kept going, can't tell you, classified, have to fucking shoot you in the head if I told you?
I'll tell you about that in a second. But that is it's a comedic view of it. You know, Tom does get over his point quite well. It's just that he doesn't really have a willing audience listening to him, because Tom began talking about various different things that he was aware of and how he managed to meet with several men high up in government, because he had worked out what was really going on, which nobody ever thought was possible, but he did it purely through intensive reading on the subject.
When you do your own research on YouTube.
He'd been on Wikipedia. And these men reached out to him and introduced him to more men, who connected him with more men, until he found himself meeting government officials in parking lots, X-Files style. He used these connections to pitch the To the Stars Academy project. Now, the best I could work out, and I'm not speaking I'm not speaking for Tom here, but it's just my best interpretation.
Right.
To the Stars ultimately was kind of to soft launch ideas to the public through its creative wing. And these ideas were what was really going on, to introduce some of the technology that was in the possession of the US government, and it would be introduced through the books and other projects. And these shadowy figures liked this idea. They could, talk about the things they were doing in a safe space through entertainment. And they sent him to work. And they gave him permission to talk about certain aspects that he'd worked on, and would rein him in on some areas that he shouldn't really be talking about. Now, Joe Rogan, who, by the way, is the worst part of the Joe Rogan experience.
Chris giving his opinions.
Look, it's a good podcast, but it'd be just as good if he wasn't on it. It's about the guest.
Do you know what they should do? They should remove him and put us on it.
Absolutely, should do. But credit to credit's due. He's got a lot of connections through his comedy and the UFC stuff that he's done. He gets some amazing guests on there. And like if you listen to his episodes of Neil deGrasse Tyson, or with what's that guy? What's that British guy who talks really softly? He's a physicist.
Oh, the one who looks like he should be in Blur.
Brian Cox. Yes. Yeah. I mean, the episodes of them are absolutely fascinating, and you can dig them out, give them a listen, and then give us 2 listens, because we're better.
Because we need your help, damn it.
Yeah, because we don't get as many organic listens.
Help us.
But Joe Rogan listened to all of Tom's proposals like he was listening to a crazy person on the street. And when Joe asked Tom to show some video proof, Tom had to leave his position, put his headphones down to go and over to the producer's station to bring the videos up on YouTube. And Joe Rogan began whispering into the microphone and subtly mocking. You can't hear me right now. This guy's fucking crazy.
No, we didn't say that about Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, and he was just generally being a bit of an asshat. Someone you've invited onto your show, Howie. And he was not really entertaining much of what Tom had to say. And as you can see, some of it with good reason. With the answers that were being given. And Tom has admitted in later interviews that it was not his best showing, but it is probably the best known outing for Tom DeLonge's big UFO adventure. And this interview led to much of a ridicule that Tom DeLonge has faced in the media. Former Blink guitarist swaps music for Martians. One newspaper headline that I just made up said.
I think he would be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I think I like that one. But it of course leads us to our favourite joke. What does Tom DeLonge say when he's looking at the sky searching for aliens? Where are you?
So dumb.
Tom, though, was not really bothered because he was forging ahead with To the Stars Academy. And we must now try and answer some questions. What is To the Stars Academy? Who are To the Stars Academy? What have they achieved? And crucially, what are they now? So let's follow this in sequence. What is To the Stars Academy? Well, first thing, right now, if you're searching for them, they're known as just To the Stars, just to get it right.
Ooh.
But it was formerly To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. And therein lied the two wings of the company, the arts or the entertainment, which would publish music, movies, books, entertainment with UFO or paranormal themes. And the science wing that would attempt to bring the 25th century technology to the present day. These are two very distinct wings with two very disparate goals. Fighting a war on two fronts somewhat, but the entertainment side, and this is the smart bit, was supposed to fund the science wing.
Right.
As well as introducing the concept to the public. So it's a lot easier to sell an album or to get people into movie theaters and generate revenue that way than putting out a science paper. That's not really going to get you any extra money in order to continue on your projects.
Does it take a particularly big budget to meet a man in black in a car park?
I mean, that's a lot of cigarettes you have to go through while waiting. So maybe, but these entertainment projects were featuring specific craft and propulsion systems that apparently really do exist, and they were introduced, for example, through a series of novels called Secret Machines. Secret spelt with a K.
I recall that actually. I don't know why, but I do. Yeah.
3 or 4 volumes of it.
Yeah.
And the website used to feature this quote: To the Stars Academy creates science fiction stories for millennials that inspire and transcend. Stories about dreams, consciousness, paranormal, UFOs, and many other things that once used to be taboo. But after newly declassified government documents are now proving to be absolutely real.
So, is there a reason that he has to specify millennials like all the time?
I think he's just... I think someone in his marketing team's just been like, Tom, you need to say this word every second sentence.
Yeah, like what's that about? Like, I'm sure there's some boomers who would be like on board with him.
I think he's trying to, as you say, target a younger audience.
Well, okay.
Which is funny because his core audience would probably be elder millennials. Really, I suppose.
Or like
the ones
boomers
that are on the line
would probably be like, hell yeah.
Maybe Gen X.
Yeah,
but we'll go on to discuss this in a moment. But those involved do not consider themselves ufologists, except maybe Tom, who was indeed awarded Researcher of the Year in 2017. And oh my God, this is an actual award.
By who?
Need to win by some magazine somewhere.
How is was going to say, that can't be some official body, like researcher of the year.
I want it right now.
I mean, I don't doubt that he's actually probably has spoken to like some government people, I guess. But I don't really know what he's done.
Doing stuff. Well, we'll find out, but some have speculated that due to the company's government connections to the Stars Academy may well fit the mould of government contractor more than fringe conspiracy theorists. This combination of arts and science was quite the unique combination. Indeed, I'm not sure if I've come across a more unique combo this side of the gun range and barbecue joint that I attended in St. Louis on a stag party once. Lovely guys there, by the way. They love their guns and they love their spare ribs equally. This combo of light entertainment and the development of beamed energy propulsion systems caused many to be extremely confused by what the hell this damn thing was in the first place. However, the company went public in 2017, offering $50 million worth of stock. So it certainly deemed itself as a valuable asset, although it reportedly only shifted $1 million of that. But you know what? If DSR goes public tomorrow, I'll take $1 million. Absolutely. No problem at all. That sounds like a success to me. So why was it valuing itself so highly, though? You could say that it was a media company set up to hunt for evidence of UAPs, if you were so inclined, but at its core, that seems to be what the company was. Is. It's still a bit confusing how all these things marry together, but I think that you have to follow the money, and financially it makes sense. Leverage the fame of Tom De-Looooonge to turn that profit into UFO evidence, and then turn that evidence into possible future technology. Ambitious, yes. Possible? No. I don't know. But
it's kind of weird though, because I feel like, not to like discredit like Tom De-Looooonge or anything, but if you wanted to soft launch like alien technology to the public, why not like have, I mean, is that what Lilo and Stitch was? Like, why not have Disney or Warner do it? Like,
because this is Disney for millennials. That's
why. Okay. That's the line you. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They just believed him.
It's easy though to walk into mocking him, and that's what plenty of podcasts have done. I'm not mocking
him.
Before.
I love him,
and we're not doing that. We're not mocking him. It can't be denied he was chasing his dreams, but he wasn't alone. He was chasing them with some help of some very well-connected friends. So now we've established best as we can as what To the Stars Academy is. Who are they?
Who are they?
Who are they? I'll tell you right now. They were founded by three men. Tom De-Looooonge of Blink-182, Boxcar Racer, and Angels and Airwaves fame. Well known for his ability to run down the street naked and bring to the table many connections in the world of music and art. Tom sits on the board of directors. Next, Hal Puthoff.
That's the guy, the Stargate Project guy.
Lens, do you know this man? Because you should.
Yes.
Hal Puthoff is an American physicist and later parapsychologist with degrees from Florida and a PhD from Stanford. Hal joined the Scientology movement in the 1960s and rose to the rank of OT7, which was the highest rank at the time, before severing all ties with the group in 1970. During his time with the church, he began to develop his remote viewing abilities, and this led him, in the 70s and 80s, to become director of a program at SRI International. Check out our episode all about this, folks. Working with various reported psychics, such as our old pal Uri Geller, on remote viewing.
Fucking Uri Geller. Check out the episode, please. Please. And that will highlight to you that Puthoff is not that impressive, because he just basically hung out with Uri Geller. I'm sorry, he's impressive in other aspects, but in the whole Stargate thing, no. Stop it.
Well, in the 80s, Hal began working on his zero-point energy theories, which are, in simple terms, which I certainly need, lest we end up trying to explain the origin of the universe again, and I have a mental breakdown on air for the second time. 0 point energy is the lowest possible energy level or ground state in quantized electromagnetic fields, which interacts with the physical system of particles. So there you go. But this 0 point energy has been theorized to be some of the alien technology that allows UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call them, to travel through space in the way that they would have to. Please don't quiz me any more than that. I don't know. Tom explains it by scrunching up a piece of paper into a concertina and saying that is how aliens move through the sky. They don't go in it appears they're going in a straight line, but actually they're blipping through.
Thanks, Tom.
Different points in the time. It's much more impressive when you see the piece of paper. HAL is not on the board of directors, but the advisory board, which we'll talk about in a moment. The third man who started off the Stars Academy, and this is his real name, Jim Semivan.
Sorry, again?
Jim Semivan.
I thought you said Jim Semyon. I was like, oh my God.
It's like Semivan. Whole van, half a van. Anyway, and for 25 years, he was a spy in the CIA's clandestine service and reached senior levels in his operations. And this is really about as much that I can find on the man from his own lips.
Very
which
sexy.
Probably tells you that there is good reason for that. And Jim still sits on the board of directors. Also on the board of directors currently, as of recording this in 2024, are Stan Spry, a producer, and Chris Mitzer, an investor and businessman.
Right. Okay. All handy people to have. Right. Not convinced that they...
Well, these are the people that are running the company, but they're not the people who are running the shadowy behind the scenes things.
True. Faces, so I guess. Faces.
That would be the advisory board. So, sitting alongside Hal Putton is Councilman Chris Herndon, a former Deputy Assistant to the President and former Director of IT at the White House.
Ooh.
Which president, I hear you cry?
Which president?
Taft.
Your favorite?
No, sorry. Trump. Next, we have Joe Sherman, an AI expert who reportedly has provided software engineering services to NASA, amongst others.
Can you answer a question about AI, though? Why is it so hard to generate text on an image?
Yeah. No, nobody knows the answer to that one.
Okay.
You've got to put it in a Canva yourself.
Comes out as Sanskrit every time I try.
Up next, we have Dr. Paul Rapp, who is a professor of military and emergency medicine, whom has received commendations from the CIA, whatever this means. Next, come on down, Dr. Adele Gilpin, who seems to be an entrepreneur of biomedical and medicine companies, and alongside being a doctor herself, of course. And then finally, we have Dr. Norm Kahn, who worked at the CIA for over 30 years, much of which was working in their counter-biological weapons program, and continues as a US government national security consultant. Here's my analysis of this right now.
Okay.
We've got your entertainment people, clearly. Your Tom, your investors, Stan Spry, Chris Mitzer. Then you've got Hal Putton, who is leading up the insanity wing of the company. We've got Hal Puthoff, who's leading up the insanity wing of the company. And then you've got all of these people who are, former advisors to the, special, to be fair, this guy was head of IT at the White House. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Why is the printer not connecting?
Yeah, it sounds impressive, but is that what it was? It was.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Hey, Chris, I can't get this to work. I don't know what it is. Was that it? But then there's a bizarre number of doctors who seem to be medical doctors, and those that have worked in counter-biological weapons programs.
Like, that's just Dr. Hillary on a power trip.
I just wonder, what are they involved in then? Are they involved in biological weapons? I mean, is someday there going to be a biological attack and it's going to be like Tom De-Looooonge saves us?
No, they're those people, right? Remember when we did the episode on the body brokers, which was really serious and terrible, actually?
Oh, yeah.
They're just those people who test things with donated. Oh, God. Everyone go back and listen to the body brokers episode. It's an earlier one, but...
Our second ever episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's very eye-opening. And yeah, that was not a pun, by the way. But like, I feel like I hear all these positions and I'm like, oh, that's very impressive. And then I think about it and I'm like, did a lot of true crime writing and you can't, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm still, like, it all sounds very impressive, but I'm really interested to know, like, what To the Stars has come out with.
Right. So we're going to move on to that in just a second, but we've got to cover something else first.
Oh, okay.
This is all, in terms of membership, quite a shift from the early days of To the Stars Academy.
Yeah.
So formerly, To the Stars Academy worked with Luis Elizondo, whom was in the army for many years, and claims that he was director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which the Pentagon denies, but of course they would. He's been featured on the news and is often touted as a UFO expert by the press.
What news?
Fox News.
Fox News.
Also, formerly associated with To the Stars was Christopher Mellon, a former Deputy Assistant Director of Defense for both Clinton and George W. Bush. And finally, of note, To the Stars formerly worked with Steve Justice, which, to my surprise, is not a pro wrestler, but a man who formerly worked for Lockheed Martin, the defense contractor, developing all sorts of horrible goodies in their skunks work department.
Ah, that's what skunks work is. Okay, I was going to ask you that, but explained.
Yeah. And after 39 years there, he was referred to a legend of skunk works.
A legend? Okay.
He worked on teams that developed missiles and stealth planes, amongst other things, and he's currently, after leaving To the Stars, leading the engineering of Virgin Atlantic's spacecraft for Richard Branson.
Oh, is Richard Branson still around? Not in a morbid way, just curious.
He's still around.
Okay.
In 2020, there was a sudden shift, and these three left To the Stars on seemingly good terms, but they did decide to leave, and Elizondo said on leaving To the Stars Academy, Tom is really focused on the entertainment side, so there's not a whole lot for Chris, Steve, and I to do. I mean, our talents lie in engaging governments, Congress, and other international organizations, and we're ready to shift into second gear. Entertainment is one way to do it, but it's not comprehensive.
Right. So they were just sort of trophy wives on the website. Like, look at me.
Yeah,
I've got some government guys, but he wasn't really utilizing them.
I wouldn't call them trophy because they're all very closely connected to the Stars Academy's major achievement, that we're going to talk about very shortly. But once that was done, there wasn't a whole lot else for them to do. So let's just keep that in our back pocket and move on to our next question. What has To the Stars Academy achieved?
Yes.
There's two ways of answering this. Not a lot and kind of a lot.
Chris!
Depending on which way you view it, okay? What your opinion is. So, if you look at this through the media lens, then the company has achieved loads. It released 4 series of books, including Secret Machines and the Poet Anderson series, 2 television shows at present with more in production, and a Tom De-Looooonge directed movie called Monsters of California. Most of these things, with the exception of the children's book, Who Here Knows Who Took My Clothes, feature a UFO theme, if not outrightly having the story set around the development of futuristic technology. The company has also put out multiple albums by Tom De-Looooonge and Angels and Airwaves, and there's been documentary series as well. But this is great, but where are the UFOs?
Yeah.
On the other side, the company released a series of 3 leaked videos showing reported UFO interactions by the military via the aircraft. This forms part of a supposed larger archive known as the Vault, which was formerly available as its own website, but now appears to be relegated to a YouTube playlist on To The Star's official channel. Most famous of this is a video referred to as Gimbal. Now, Linz, shall we watch Gimbal?
I think I may have seen Gimbal, but yes, let's watch it. Is that a military video? And
yeah.
Dude, this is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's like another thing, it's rotating.
So there you have it. There's Gimbal. We'll put that on our socials so people can make their own opinion of it. It's definitely odd, but is it unequivocal proof of UAPs?
I appreciated all of the detail they put into explaining what was depicted on the display, but it made no sense to me. I was like, okay, sure. But yeah, the actual unidentified thing in the video, it was interesting. I did, gosh, I don't know, like, obviously this is just like from memory, so untrustworthy, but I did read there was something about the camera that was creating some distorted kind of effect. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I do remember hearing about the gimbal. Like, it was such a big deal. And yeah, To The Stars did discuss it a lot back. How long ago was that, actually? Quite a while, right?
So, yeah, that was released in, I think it was, off the top of my head, 2019.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 2019.
Yeah, I remember something about it. But, I mean, it's interesting, but yeah, I mean, did anything ever come of that? I think it got sort of debunked, but I do not recall it all. You'll have to enlighten me on that.
Quite the opposite.
Oh.
Actually. So the footage was released by the formerly mentioned Luis Elizondo, which was really what he was bringing to the table. He was bringing these pieces of footage.
Okay.
There was several of them that were taken during his time in charge, supposedly, of the aerospace defense program, and he released them during his time with To The Stars Academy. The videos were later confirmed as real videos taken by the pilots by the US Navy in 2019, who had classed these as UAPs. Remember that this doesn't necessarily mean it's of alien origin, just it's unidentified and it's in the sky. And they then declassified the videos totally in 2020.
Okay.
Using the connections of Chris Mellon, To The Stars arranged classified congressional hearings with the pilots to discuss the nature of these videos. So this in itself is pretty significant. Essentially, the company got the Navy to admit these videos are real videos and declassify them before getting pilots to testify such in Congress, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, it kind of stops there in terms of, if you want to term this stuff, hard evidence. Because obviously something quite quickly happened, which was COVID, which kind of derailed a lot of these things. Now, the other thing of note that they've been publicly working on is the Adam project, which was mentioned in that video we looked at the beginning of this, which was formerly headed up by one Steve Justice. The company, To The Stars, acquired $35,000 worth of exotic metals, which are reportedly from UFOs.
Okay.
And was working on reverse engineering them. The company claimed to be investigating the materials to verify the facts on what they actually were. Now, May Nyman of Oregon State University said of this,
"If we had such mysterious metals, you could take it to any university where research is done, and they could tell you what are the elements and something about the crystalline phase within a few hours."
Kind of poo-pooing this whole thing. And this was the kind of knock of, are they just buying stuff from collectors who claim to be in the possession of UFO memorabilia.
Yeah, it's
And
those little
that's where this money's going.
those little mummies all over again, isn't it?
Mm,
Remember those?
yeah. But in late 2019, the US Army actually approached the Stars Academy
Okay.
and entered into a 5-year contract with them, which will be coming up this year. And the contract states that To the Stars Academy will provide samples in its possessions of metamaterials, any data or obtained vehicles that use beamed energy propulsion, and any information or technology related to active camouflage for testing and analysis of potential application on Army ground vehicles.
Okay.
Now, so the Army's like, okay, looks like you might have something here, boys. Let's work together.
Or let's keep you busy so you stop looking up and start looking down.
That's the other part of it, I suppose. But no public money was going to the Stars Academy, but there was certain funding streams going to it from the US government as a result.
Okay.
Doug Hollew, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, is a spokesman for the US Army division that was contracting to the Stars Academy, said that it made sense to take a deeper look at what the Stars Academy was working on, and also it had interest in using the technology that it said it had to apply to video screens. Which, okay.
What?
So
what does that mean?
You want to use supposedly alien technologies to make my TV screen bigger. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I know. There you have it. Several books and albums, a movie, some leaked videos, a congressional hearing, and a contract with the Army to develop TV screens. Linz, is To the Stars Academy achieving its vision of opening people up to new possibilities in this universe and beyond?
I don't think so. I think it's like, not to shit on them. Like, how can I say this in a nice way? Like, I think they've done really amazing things, but not amazing things. I think they've managed to reach a lot of people, but those people might just be like Tom De-Looooonge fans. I don't think it's necessarily spread the idea to the masses. I'm sure a lot of people don't know what To the Stars is, and if you wanted to do something like that, you'd probably do a contract with like Disney or,
Yeah, it's
not just something for millennials. It's like, no, if you wanted to do that, you'd want to reach everybody, so you would use like a really massive company. Marvel, maybe that would be a good one. They already have dealings with space.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know, I just feel like I think he's done really well to go from music to something like that and like get funding and release books and entertainment things. But as far as like, I've even forgotten the goal to soft launch alien technology ideas to the public. Like, you see, like, I can't even really grasp the point of it.
It's all very kind of, I wouldn't say garbled, but it's all very mixed up. That's some of the reasoning that Tom gives. But I think if Tom was here right now, and Tom, if you're listening to this, please come on the podcast, school us on what we don't know, but he'd probably say, I can't tell you that.
I was just about to say, I don't think you'll get much out of him at this point, Chris.
He knows things. According to him, he knows things that he can't talk about, and this is what's fueling his mission. So I suppose if we just take it at face value, the reason why we don't understand what's going on is because there's something going on in the background that we don't know about.
I think like when he's 80 something, he'll release an album called like Deathbed Confessions, where he just like writes pop punk songs about everything, all the secrets that he knows.
I'm here for that.
Me too. I can't wait for Deathbed Confessions of Tom De-Looooonge. I hope we're all around to witness it.
This brings us to our final question, which is, what is To the Stars Academy in 2024?
Yeah, good question.
As you might have noticed in that last section, I mentioned repeatedly that all of those key figures that we talked about, left the company in 2020, leading to a shift and leaving it to be mainly an entertainment company with an interest in 0-point energy. The company
so specific.
rebranded itself as simply To the Stars, with an asterisk after stars. And if you go on the official website now, the company certainly doesn't shy away from its history. In the news section, you can find all sorts of things about Tom talking about, UFOs and various other things. But you could also be forgiven for thinking that it was a t-shirt company.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it just seems like a sort of trendy design company that releases books sometimes. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, one of the standout shirts is the Tom Was Right shirt.
Can we get them?
We can get them.
Yes.
And all I'm saying is I've got a birthday coming up, guys.
Oh my God, so you do? Uh-huh.
I'll be 35 for the third time. I can't.
Yeah, if you want to send Chris a t-shirt, just ask for the P.O. box.
Yeah. But is the company still working on things behind the scenes that aren't media ventures? Well, we'll have to wait and see that. Several books and shows are reportedly in the works, but of course Tom is a very busy boy. He runs several companies, the rest of which not connected to aliens, and he rejoined Blink-182, and he's now touring the world again.
Yeah,
so
he has to get funding.
What? Perhaps, though, as Tom said all those years ago, aliens exist. But also, maybe pop punk was his true passion all along. I will wait with bated breath. Personally, I am pulling for the guy.
Yep.
He's gone from being ridiculed to admired, so let's hope that pop punk saves us all, much as it promised to in the late 90s to 2001, which is, we all know, is when music stopped being relevant.
In Chris's world, at least.
Yeah. Sorry, Papa Roach had more than one album? What? So, Linz, as we wrap this episode up, what do you think of To the Stars Academy, or To the Stars, as it now is, and do you now finally understand what it is?
In short, Chris, no. No, I get what it is now, but I think it's just Tom being Tom, isn't it? The business is Tom. That's it. That is the business.
He's in the Tom business.
Yeah.
And
but,
business is good.
I'm glad to finally have it explained to me, even though I'm like, eh? Like, if someone asked me what's To the Stars, I'd be like, some books and things. It's just Tom Incorporated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the Guide of Death.
It's a very ambitious project.
Sorry?
I was just saying it's a very ambitious project.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy, but I think the vision is unclear, and he might have crammed too much into one intro video about what it was. I think he made that one intro video and left people confused from that point onwards. And I still want to know about the Pizzagate thing, so we're going to have to delve into that one day, unfortunately.
I think there's one of two scenarios, and I'm not saying which one it is. And Tom, please come on and let us know which one it is.
Chris really wants Tom to come on.
I really want him to come on. I
really want this more than anything I've ever heard you want.
I just think we could have a fucking fascinating conversation.
Oh, definitely.
None of it would make any sense. But that's
okay,
part of the course with me anyway, so it's fine. But it's either he's genuinely being used as a conduit and by these shadowy government people, and something big's going to come. Something's in the works. Or whatever the message that they're trying to get out there is just not gaining traction yet.
Well, you have got me excited.
Exactly. It's the other side of the coin, which is that he was taken for a ride by people who saw a rock star with money. He was saying, "Hey, come and join my company."
Maybe.
Come and join my company, man. We're gonna be releasing books, and we're gonna be searching for alien materials and this and that, and Luis Alonso officially was not part of the heading up any divisions for the Pentagon.
That's what they would say, Chris.
But exactly, that's what they would say. So, if this is where it gets all into, yes, no, this is what everyone said or didn't say, he said, she said, and all the others. But if we take a cynic's point of view, is it just some people who are on the fringe, potentially on the right-wing fringe of things as well? Not talking about Luis Alonso, I don't know, but, people who are in Trump's administration and so on. And are they just taking Tom for a ride? I don't know.
To be honest, I lost all... I used to think it was quite a serious thing until Project Stargate and MK Ultra and the Uri Geller thing. After that, I'm just like, whatever. If anyone's involved with the CIA, it's not that impressive. It's just not.
Yeah.
I just don't take it seriously
and after
anymore.
the whole MK Ultra thing we looked into as well.
Yeah, I just don't take it seriously anymore. I really don't. Like, it used to sound impressive, like 10 years ago. I was like, wow. But now I'm just like, and maybe Tom had the same experience, actually. And maybe he went, you know what? I'm just going to go back to pop punk. That was easy to grasp. I was good at it. This alien thing's going nowhere. These people think Uri Geller can do remote viewing. I'm out. Maybe he just never read those documents before he started To the Stars, and he was like, it's not that fun, actually. Like, maybe sitting outside of Loch Ness is fun, looking for the Loch Ness monster. I don't know, talking tourists. But whatever this is, the anti-gravity, blah, 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 blah. At a certain point, you probably go, bored of this now, hit a brick wall, time to go back to Blink.
It sounds like Tom, I don't know, he talked a little bit in that Joe Rogan interview about what Elon Musk was doing with SpaceX and so on. It's like, that seems like a natural combination.
Yeah.
Of the two. It's like, maybe he could have hooked up with Elon Musk and be kind of, if they were connected with that somehow, be like, well, we're investigating all of this stuff. But like, as far as I know, Elon Musk's never come out and said anything about aliens.
No, he just says a lot of things about everything else that no one really asked to hear about. But
a lot of unsolicited opinions.
Yeah, but like him plus Tom DeLonge would have been like friggin' entertaining. That's a combo that's a tag team that we need in the very near future.
Yeah. But never know. We might find that. But anyway, that is To the Stars Academy. What do you think, listeners? Do you know something that we don't know? Let us know. Are you on Team Tom, or are you very much thinking that he should have never left Blink? What do you feel? Where do you fall? Which side of the fence? And do you know Tom DeLonge? If you do, put him in touch.
Jesus Christ, Chris. Have you already got a date planned?
Oh, man, like we would have a fucking cracker Zoom call.
I'd love that, though. I'd love that. One day.
We'll see if we can arrange it. We'll see. Maybe if Blink play Newcastle sometime, I'll just rock up with a microphone.
Just wear a big like alien grey t-shirt with one of those tiny TikTok mics that people have that they plug into their phones. Be like, Tom, about the anti-gravity.
So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. This was Dystopian Simulation Radio. Remember, you can check out all of the images over on our Instagram, which is
d.s.radio. Follow us there, send us a message, leave us some comments, look at all the pictures.
And you can also join us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Dystopian Simulation Radio. To play us out, as promised, here is Cypher by Nelia.
Thanks, Nelia.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Love a bit of wang.
It's the outtake. That's the end of the episode. That's the Patreon content. Oh, come on, man. Why is it not? Come on. Copy.
I have to tell him that I have said that in this episode, by the way.